Jr. and President of Espere.
In February of 2012, Daniela Corona, on the right, and Shannon O'Brien, on the left, applied for memberships in several existing LMU service organizations.
But they were not accepted to any of them.
Yet the closing of these doors led them to find another door, a new door.
For me, service is a way of seeing God. So when I didn't get into any of the service orgs, I knew I didn't just want to volunteer here and there. And after I talked to Tom King, I decided that I should start another service org, a new service org. That's when Shannon and I teamed up to form Espere. Espere. It means to hope, to hope. We named our service org in honor of the Sisters of St. Joseph. When the Sisters congregation was founded in 17th century France, its focus was on women who were poor, sick, and in need. This is Espere's mission. We, the women of Espere, hereby make it our mission to cultivate the growth of the individual for the growth of the community. In so doing, we strive to preserve the freedoms of those who have passed, to dedicate them to those who come, through justice and conservation to the world and people around us.
Our endeavors aim to protect those who were once enslaved through enduring emotional connections, and to prevent future generations from slavery through acting as spokeswomen for the cause. In addition, we aspire to promote knowledge of sustainable practices in our local communities as we further develop and maintain these traditions throughout our lives.
We're focusing on issues involving women who are abused, from prevention to advocacy, human trafficking, and environmental sustainability. Espere has established service sites at Venice's High School's Learning Garden, a community garden, the Downtown Women's Center, and Tree People, which promotes the planting of trees to improve the LA environment. And we're also getting involved with CASP, the Coalition to Abolish Slavery and Trafficking. We currently have 26 members. I know, we have big plans. But like I said, for me, service is a way of seeing God. But in the past, I've realized that what inspires me the most is the smallest acts of kindness, especially those done by people who have less than you, less than me. For example, there are these two young boys, Daniel and Israel, and they help their parents sell fruit from an old beat-up truck. Around 6 a.m., the boys and their family buy the fruit on the outskirts of Tijuana. Then they come to the corner of my house in the middle of upper and middle class homes, but they don't care because the life that they've got, they're thankful for. And it's crazy because my rich friend lives like 10 feet away from them, and they don't care. And most every day when I pass Daniel and Israel, they offer me fruit and water. This small act of kindness has the deepest impact on me. And it's really these kinds of acts that keep me going. It's funny, I originally applied to LMU as a recording arts major. But then I took this trip before college and started, and everything changed. I changed. So when I returned to San Diego, my dream was to live in the jungle and start an orphanage. But my mom was like, "Oh no, Daniela, we're not paying all this money for college for you to do that. You should take advantage of that gift to do something even bigger with it." Okay, fine. So at the end of my first year, I switched majors from recording arts to political science. My goal is to do something really positive and helpful with what I learned, and I eventually want to start my own nonprofit. I believe forming Espere will help me move closer to my goal. But my dream of living in the jungle and starting an orphanage, well, I have it because I actually went to an orphanage in the jungle, in Honduras, right before I came to LMU. But I think in order to tell you that story of me being changed, I have to tell you the events that led up to that moment. During my junior year in high school, I went to high school in San Diego, and I have friends and family both in San Diego and Tijuana. 2 of my friends died. In September, my best friend died suddenly. No one knows for sure what it is. Maybe the flu. And we are shocked. And then in January, another close friend dies. He's my boyfriend's best friend, and he's murdered by we don't know who. This is in Tijuana. Shot 60 times. This happens on my boyfriend's birthday. My boyfriend and I had just seen him an hour before. My boyfriend, he's torn up by this, but he starts to follow a dark path with drugs and anger. But I want to follow the light, you know? At this point in my life, I had not done any real type of service. But ever since I was little, I would see these things and I'd want to do something about it, but I would say, oh, no, later, later. And then these deaths just made me think, what am I doing every day with my life? I was getting good grades and playing soccer and going with the flow, but I didn't stop and think about anything. I was beginning to wake up, I guess. When I start my senior year, I don't break up with him, but I can feel something in me starting to change. I take a social justice class with my teacher, Dalene Di Tomaso, and she tells us, like on the first day,
I'm planning a student trip to Honduras for July. We'll be helping out in an orphanage for 2 weeks. It will be challenging and exciting, and will make a real difference in the lives of these children. Who would like to join me?
So in September, July feels so far away, but it got here pretty quick. And in the meantime, I apply to LMU as a recording arts major and get accepted. And before I go on the trip, I break up with my boyfriend. I am ready for Honduras. On the trip, it's my teacher, Dalene, 14 classmates, 2 moms, and me. Now, I go to Tijuana a lot, but Honduras is the second poorest country in Latin America, and I honestly cannot believe the poverty that I see there. The airport is like the nicest building, and it is not even that nice. So we get on a bus, and we head to the orphanage in the jungle, and we see cardboard houses after cardboard houses on the side of the road, and everything seems like almost nothing. But at the same time, it's the jungle, and it's so green and amazing. It's just this weird balance of poverty and beauty, and everyone is just so happy. And most of us on the trip are American, and we're just like shocked at how happy the poor people are. So we get to the orphanage, and this rich guy from Luxembourg who runs it, Esteban, he greets us, and I'm like really struck because he's this really cute guy who looks like Adam Levine, you know, the guy from Maroon 5, and I'm like, what is this guy doing in the middle of the jungle? Anyway, he and like 2 kids take our luggage and they show us to our bunk beds, and they were just so happy to have us. So one of the first things that I see are little kids with machetes. They use machetes to cut grass everywhere and to cut their food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Well, they use machetes for everything, and I think it's so cool. But this is where I make my best little friend, Freddie. This cute 7-year-old kid with a machete. His parents died when he was a baby, but he is the sweetest kid, and he's so wise. He's also a bit of a troublemaker. Okay, real quick, there are these other kids here too, as part of a Catholic missionary group, and really, they won't want to do anything except sing Kumbaya in the common area. I'm sorry, it's the truth. And they expect us to do the same thing, and I do not want to sing. I mean, I want to be with the kids, and I want to help. You know, that's what we came here for. So finally, my teacher, Dalene, goes up to them, and she says, in a very nice way,
I'm sorry, but we didn't come here to just sing worship songs, which is something that we can do back home. So we'll sing just one more worship song, and then we're going to do some work. You can join us if you'd like.
After that, they didn't want anything to do with us. But except for this one girl, but I'll tell you about her in a bit. So, over the next 2 weeks, we help the kids paint their big jungle gym and help them with their chores. We go to Mass with them, and we're there for their baptisms and their communions. Actually, a lot of them are just getting baptized because most of them are abandoned kids, because their parents know that their kids will get an education at the orphanage. And some of them are street kids, and some of them, like Freddie, they've lost their parents when they were babies, and, well, he's lived here since he was 2 weeks old. At night, we make food at a different house within the orphanage, and there are a lot of different houses. Like, for example, there's one house for the special needs girls, there's one house for the special needs boys, and then they're separated by ages. And oh, yes, we play soccer with the kids. I play a lot of soccer over these next 2 weeks, and the only thing we don't do is cut the grass with the machetes because we don't know how to use them. But one of the kids gave me a machete, and as a going away gift, and I wanted to bring it on the plane, but it didn't fit in my suitcase. So the kids, they planted it in the middle of the tree so that they would always remember me. So back to the Catholic missionary girl real quick. You could tell that she totally wanted to be with us. And on a Sunday, she finally comes to the river with us and the kids. Sure, the river is a bit muddy and it seems, I don't know, a little strange to go into the muddy river with the kids, but she ends up loving it. We all do. It was the best 2 weeks of my life. I know those 2 weeks changed me. And at the end, I actually didn't want to leave Honduras. I didn't want to come back to the States, and I just wanted to stay there with the kids. I mean, their life is so hard, but they are happy. And when I start to think of our comfortable lives back home, I was like, how can anyone complain? Because people are always going to complain no matter how much they actually have. I guess I just didn't want to deal with the transition from Honduras to San Diego and Los Angeles, you know? But obviously, I had to come back home. My friends, they threw me a welcome back party, which was nice with balloons and a lot of food and stuff. But then they named my computer, and they said it missed me. And I was like, I wouldn't name my computer. And I was like, I don't know. It was just a really weird transition. I actually slept in my garage for a week because I wanted to sleep on the ground, and my room is pink, and I hate pink. And, well, that's a long story. I just didn't want to go out and be with people, you know? I guess I just wasn't ready. But I come to LMU in the fall, and I changed my major from recording arts to political science, and I am ready to do service, real service. And as you know, I don't get into any of the other service orgs, and Tom King tells Shannon and me to start our own service org. And now here we are with Esperé. And no doubt my experience in Honduras directly impacted Esperé's mission to help with human trafficking. There is a huge amount of unseen trafficking that exists all over the world. And it's connected to almost every social justice issue that you can imagine. Homelessness, environmental problems. For example, a natural disaster can leave a child parentless, and they become easy targets of the traffickers. Racism, poverty, and immigration, especially illegal immigrants who are afraid to report anything for fear of being deported. You know, I'm always thinking about Freddie and the other kids from the orphanage. I still talk to them, actually. They call me from telephones. Yeah, so they're allowed to use the phone once a week. And so when I see like this huge number on my cell, I know it's them. And they fill me in on what's happening with school and their lives, and it's just great. They called me on my birthday too. Yeah. I miss them. So, yeah, these kids changed my life. And I'm going to visit the orphanage again. It's my #1 goal for next summer. And I can't wait.
Daniela Corona.
part of this play. He's recruited. I know. He sent me emails since the beginning of summer, and I was like, what is this for? And I was here you are. Thank you for asking me out. And they probably understood you more than me because I have really bad accent. Thank you to all my friends in Asbury who are here. I kind of made them come, or how Sister Ann said, cordially forced them to come. But, and thank you to my family who's always supported me, and my boyfriend who's quietly sitting in the back, and everybody who's here, and you guys for not sleeping while I'm still here. So,